All right. Hey, everybody. How are we doing today?
Great.
Good.
Good. This is our third COVID-19 update. You'll have to just kind of ignore some of the yelling and screaming in the background. My kids are home, as everyone's are. Once again, introduction-wise, we've got Mr. Ryan Carson from Carson Law with us today. We've got Glenn Maclaren from Tribe Financial, and myself, Paul Thurlow, along with my beautiful partner, Kelly Baker. So how is everybody doing these days?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Good. Started to crack.
Any fun stories, Ryan?
No. I mean, law's not fun, Paul.
That's why I thought
not really. Yesterday was crazy. Lots of, I don't know if you guys had lots of closings, Glenn, if you saw a lot going through the banks, but month end, it felt like June 30th, quite honestly, was nuts.
Well,
we had 25 deals on the go yesterday and about 25 today. So it was insane.
Busy. Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with us today. Appreciate it.
Anything for you guys.
Have you had any holdups or any deals delayed as a result of COVID?
To be honest with you, up to yesterday, no. We only had the one deal that needed an extension, and that was because the appraiser couldn't get in. So they just basically needed a 1-week extension, and then it closed the next week. But other than that, everything's been actually running really smoothly. So I guess we were due for since it's been about 60 days now. I think we're due. And yesterday there just was too much volume. We just could not get them all in. The money just moves slower, right? Like we're doing everything by wires and. So it's just a thing of speed. It's not quite as quick, and we're doing everything with the wires, and they, on a busy day, they just couldn't keep up. I don't think, like the banks just couldn't move it fast enough.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear that your business is happening. It's great to see closings. Positive note, we're seeing an uptick in overall activity in the market. We've got showings are coming back online again, which is great because honestly, there was a couple of weeks where it was crickets. People were just really hunkered down and not making any appointments. So it's nice to see that the serious ones, the ones that are truly motivated in buying, are out now and are on the prowl for their next home. Going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, going back 9 weeks. It's crazy how fast time flies, but going back 9 weeks ago, beginning of March, we had 87 deals that week, and right down to, let me think here. So we went from 87 and it just petered off right down to 15. The first week of April, there was only 15 transactions, but we're now seeing an uptick. So we're now looking at the 13th to the 19th of April, we had 26. Last week, we were up to 34. And this week so far, we're already at 21. So I'm hoping to see us back in the 50% range of where we were this time last year with around, 40 plus transactions. Would be great to see. So we're definitely seeing more activity. Buyers are definitely out and about now. We're getting phone calls again, which is nice. Nice to see for sure. So, yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, the thing that I found interesting is even after COVID, obviously a lot of the business that we've done in the first part of this COVID isolation were pre-booked, before COVID. A lot of deals going potentially, being written in probably mostly February, maybe some in January, maybe some in early March, but a bunch, it was obviously predating March 15th kind of isolation, quarantining due date. But I mean, we still are seeing quite a bit of deals coming in just for post-COVID. Whether it's the refis, which are a little bit probably more expected or whatever, and those obviously typically we only have a week's notice or so with those. But even people are calling us with quotes saying how much you guys charge to do a purchase and a sale. So there's definitely people out there. I mean, it's just obviously what numbers you want to compare to and what numbers you want to look at. People get nervous about the volume and stuff and the listings being down, which I can appreciate. but I think the really telling point is that the price is not really dropping. It's, you know, staying pretty steady and pretty consistent. There might be a little bit of fluctuation from.
Yeah, it's a very small amount.
But I mean, you know, if you're going to compare it to like what it was going to be like if COVID didn't happen,
Then it's down.
you know, like obviously, sure, you gotta, hey, I guess you should have been in the market earlier, right? But even if you compare right now to like, I think this same time last year, I mean, our price point's up.
Yeah, we're definitely holding our own for sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if as a result of the lull down, you know, basically the middle of March to the middle of April, with the lack of deals being written, if you're going to have that kind of echo effect in 3 months' time, where you're going to be like, where's all the deals? Because, you know, typically 60 to 90 days out, you're closing. So I'm wondering if you're going to see a softer June and July, and now maybe a busier August and September as a result of this.
Yeah, no, certainly, right? Certainly possible. I mean, none of us have a crystal ball. It'll be really interesting to see what happens like in May. Like May's going to be a really interesting month for everybody, like personally and professionally. Like I think in our respective rackets here. I mean, if like people are either going to stay the course and I think be very quiet. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be definitely quiet for this time of year, or people are going to be like, you know what, it's eventually going to come out of its shell here. Like everybody's, you know, pushing everybody to at some point here for May to start breaking back into a phased in, you know, open system.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be people that just like any kind of investment opportunity, they want to get ahead of the curve, right? You know, so I think you'll see more and more people in the coming weeks be like, look, I got to get back in the market now, because if I wait till June or July, depending on when they, you know, the masses come in, well, you're competing against all those buyers.
Definitely.
So I think if you want to buy, like now's actually not a bad time. You probably get a little bit lower price potentially, might get a little bit of a deal, get a little bit of leverage negotiation happening, and there's still nice houses out there. I mean, I see them all the time on everybody's pages.
It's good.
So I think it's right now is a really good opportune time to try to be out there. If you're okay with the you know, the fear factor, you know, the fear factor of being out and going through a house potentially or whatever. But I know like you and Kelly and many of the realtors out there, everybody's going through great lengths to like sanitize and protect everybody. And so if you're doing that, I think this is a good opportunity, you know, not just because I want to get a deal, but because I do think there is opportunity for buyers out there. I mean, you're not going to see this few buyers in a springtime situation ever.
No, it's very true. Very, very true.
So,
and I'm just, again, so happy that, you know, some of the clients that we kind of pushed through the system a little bit, saying, you know, we need to list now because there was such a shortage of listings, and we were able to execute those and get them done. And then it was literally a week later and things hit. So I'm very thankful that my clients, you know, pulled together and were able to get on the market before this all happened. And well, one of them still has to buy, but that'll come to light. So
yeah.
Glenn, what's going on in your friend?
So things are definitely picking up on our side. We're starting to see more people come off the shelf and get pre-approved. I had 2 this morning. So I think the activity, the new normal, is starting to kick in. I'll say new normal, but I think as it opens up, there will be a rush to the market, and we're starting to see that. But on the other side, I'm going to give you a 2-minute, just kind of the other side of the fence, and that is the debt management. I had a few phone calls of people just a little bit stressed. So while there are a lot of people preparing themselves to buy a home, there is a fraction of the population that is struggling, and I'd say money is the greatest stressor in life, although maybe living with 2 teenagers for a month in quarantine might kind of be up there, but you know, that we'll see if that holds up. But what I want to talk about is this question that was posed to me, and kind of give some quick solutions on what we might be able to do. And the question that came in was, if I can't pay my credit card or my loan, or if I can't pay this month, which one should I miss? Which one's the ones that aren't going to affect my credit, or is essentially what was being asked, or affect it less? And, you know, the answer is none. The answer is we got to find a way to make those minimum payments, because credit is everything in Canada. And when you apply for a mortgage, you apply for a car loan, there is as much reliance on your credit, how you pay things in the past, than it is on your ability to pay. So just some quick things to keep you guys afloat as we kind of meander through these next few weeks and start to come out of this, because I want all of us to come out of this, a lot better than not making payments, as this question was. So my answer to this guy was, here are some quick solutions for you. The first one is from my mom, and I remember her clearly saying this as we were growing up with 4 kids and very little income, is take from Peter and give it to Paul. So that's taking from existing credit facility and giving it to another. It's as easy as a cash advance on a credit card. And even if you're going to take that cash advance and put it right back on that same credit card, the credit score mechanism doesn't grade you on where that money came from. You just have to make a minimum payment. So that's number one, because once again, we got to find a way. The second is if there's no room, because you might not have room. You might have used your credit during this last month of being laid off. So in those situations, first thing you'd say is call your credit card companies and ask to get a little bit of a bump in your room, and that'll give you a little bandwidth. Credit card companies are a little tighter right now. So if that doesn't work, we have a third solution. For those of you with equity, a second mortgage may be the option. That is an open term mortgage. That's the key here. Keep it open, because it's a short-term solution to kind of just meander our way out of this. And then once we're done, the idea is to put it back onto your mortgage. So like we have one lender doing 6.99 right now on a second mortgage. Ryan, you've probably seen a few second mortgages, and I'd say that's a pretty decent rate. 2% is the fee. You pay legal fees through Ryan to set that up. But as an example, $50,000, 2% fee is $1,000. And then 6.99, that would carry to about $330 a month. So I would take that all day long in a emergency type short-term situation, than missing payments and hurting your credit that could resonate for 6 years on your report. You don't want to come out of this and go to your bank and say, okay, now let's right this ship. Let's get this debt that I've accumulated back on my mortgage. And if there's been missed payments, it's going to be a tough one. So that's all I really wanted to mention, is that I know some of you are stressed, and give me a call, give your banker a call, give someone a call. Just don't stay silent on this stuff. Don't just, avoid the creditors. Let's find a way to make the payments. So yeah, that's all I have for that. Mm-hmm.
That's a great rate, but just in case people aren't too sure, I mean, that's great. I mean, open second 6.9, even with 2% lender fee. I mean, most lenders are not open in second position typically, and B, they're probably 8 to 10% interest alone.
Oh, for sure. And they're closed for 1 year. Yeah, a lot of private lenders are like short-term second mortgages are 1 year closed. Yeah. So this option's come up, and we've used it a few times already.
It's fantastic. Great. Hopefully people are able to connect with you about that, because that's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Paul and Kelly, how's the inventory out there? Are you finding, what are the listings like right now for potential buyers to jump into the market? Are there a lot of homes coming out?
We have great listings that need to sell.
We
do. You know what? Unfortunately for our buyers, we're not seeing a lot out there yet for what they're looking for. But yeah, there's absolutely inventory coming up. I'm finding the pricing to be decent on some ends. Other people look like they're trying a bit to see if there's a desperation for a certain style of a home. But at the end of the day, like even our listing that popped up today on the market, we've already had 3 showings just today alone scheduled, which is a wonderful sign. So
great sign.
Yeah, and even our other listing, we got 3 appointments on one day, and another listing that we had in this week. So for us personally, we can speak personally that we're seeing an increase in appointments and interest, and even looking at the statistics and analytics online, we're getting a lot more people viewing our listings as well. So we're very optimistic that things are going in the right direction. So
good.
Very, very good to hear. That's encouraging.
Yeah, it's really good. We like it.
Hopefully next week we can say that it's again, it's bumped up. But I mean, looking at last week, over the week prior, we saw a 30% increase in sales, and then 30% from the week before that. So, you know, again, it'd be nice to see us up in that 50 to 60 range in the next 2 weeks. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. Yeah, only time will tell. So it's kind of a wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The warm weather brings people out.
What's that?
The warmer weather brings people out, makes them happy.
It's true.
Makes them look at things a little differently. So it's nice that the weather is looking pretty positive for us.
I turned the pool heater on today. Kids are gonna love it. This weekend they'll be in the pool.
So
I will not be.
Come by and do a social distancing cannonball or what?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You do that? Perfect.
Yeah, in and out.
I'll be there.
Nice.
So if anybody else have anything else to add to the conversation today, I think we've covered kind of we've given a quick little overview of what's happening, what's not happening.
Yeah, if anything, just for the next time we have it, if anybody has questions that are watching this, just send us a message, and then we'll definitely address it in our next get together via Zoom conference. So we'll address any questions or concerns people may have.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Take care, guys.
Bye.